Hi, this is Anna Rayskaya speaking, entrepreneur, public figure, wife and mother of 3 children. But right now, I'd like to talk to you not as the founder of the public movement Digital Army of Russia, but as an entrepreneur since 2018. I'm not going to speak to you as Elon Musk, Kaspersky or Magnitsky, but as a representative of small and medium-sized businesses. You know, for me, the opinion of a fellow professional is much more important than that of some super famous speaker, because small and medium businesses like ours face the same problems. Big business, on the other hand, lives in a completely different reality. For example, let's take the field of freight transportation. Right now, small businesses there are struggling with issues caused by high key interest rates and the cost of loans. Companies can't afford leasing, so they prefer to cut back on activity, and many companies are going bankrupt. But at the same time, the reality is different for large logistics companies. At the very least, they can lobby for compensation of leasing payments, and that's exactly what they do. That's why I say you shouldn't try to teach someone how to operate a combine harvester from outer space. Let's have an honest conversation as representatives of small and medium-sized businesses. Let's discuss what is killing modern business and how to deal with it. By the way, why am I even qualified to talk about my experience as an entrepreneur and share my perspective on the upcoming changes? It's because I've been running a business since 2018. I started out in the tour business. That's exactly where fate led me, with a red diploma from Moscow State University in hand. This was after I worked at one of the largest transportation agencies in Moscow, where we served major clients like Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey, Sberbank, and others. The tour business started turning a profit fairly quickly, but I went further and was one of the first to bring VR to Russia, creating consumer demand for this technology. Meanwhile, all my entrepreneur friends with years of experience thought I was crazy and said, "Who even needs this virtual reality, especially for that kind of money?" But since 2019, I have been successfully developing a virtual reality studio in Paradise, with branches in Smolensk, Novosibirsk, St. Petersburg, Shymkent, Magadan, and Rostov-on-Don. To grow the project, we actively attracted investments from the UK and the US, and we also plan to enter international markets. As part of this project, we also launched an international VR application that was downloaded all over the world. However, in 2022, the geopolitical situation made adjustments to my business, as I believe happened to many entrepreneurs. On my channel, I spoke in detail about how international investors tried to persuade me to finance the army that is against my country. And those who know Anna Rayskaya can confirm I would never go against my country for the sake of investments. Moreover, many other interesting niches emerged, and my intuition worked flawlessly. I left the virtual reality project and developed another one, a project for making international payments, which helped Russian businesses maintain access to international markets and Western technologies. This project is active and one of the largest on the market. Importantly, it is official. Among our regular clients are the largest mobile communications corporation and a key animation content studio in Russia. For example, your children are definitely watching cartoons from this company. Why am I telling you all this in the first place? So that you understand, at the very least, that I know the key business processes that exist in each of your businesses. And also, so you know that I am an active entrepreneur who is well versed in today's realities. That's exactly why I am now deeply immersing myself in artificial intelligence. I've had various teachers in artificial intelligence. Alexander Chernyak, co-founder of Daberi, Sergey Tumanov, who implemented products at Tinkoff, Yota, and Avito, Dmitry Zhuchkov, cloud services architect at Yandex Cloud, and many others. For me, just like for most of you, setting up workflows using artificial intelligence is not an easy task at all. I'm a humanities person. And these various courses on neural networks don't really help to apply artificial intelligence effectively. Yes, many people are now shouting that artificial intelligence poses some kind of danger to society. Well, that's something we can discuss. I think that if you're a copywriter or a designer, you're probably not thrilled about the idea that artificial intelligence could replace you. At the same time, many are also shouting that artificial intelligence will bury business. But here, I'd like to talk to you as an entrepreneur who already understands artificial intelligence. Neural networks are actually one of the chances for entrepreneurs in small and medium-sized businesses to maintain their income and avoid going bankrupt. Right now, it's not artificial intelligence that's killing business, but our own rigidity. It's normal that as we get older, it becomes harder for us to adapt to technologies that are developing so rapidly in our era. There has never been such speed in the entire history of humanity. I have a subscriber who reads all my paid materials on artificial intelligence just to understand how the world is developing. He says, right now I can't apply this in my work, but I'll never be able to use it if I don't understand what opportunities artificial intelligence offers in business. And he also said something that we usually don't think about. But this is also truly valuable and important. He said, I have a daughter who is now choosing a profession. And in order to speak the same language with her and guide her toward a relevant field, I basically need to understand what processes are happening in the world right now and not judge them like a dinosaur. That's why I believe you really need to master artificial intelligence. Why can it save your business? Because the current reality for any entrepreneur is the need to cut costs. A huge expense is the payroll fund. Every entrepreneur knows how difficult it is to find staff these days. There are fewer and fewer qualified professionals in any field. They want higher and higher salaries, but they're not really willing to work anymore. And I think you're familiar with this situation. You stand over your employee, train them, share your experience, supervise their work, pay them a salary, and then they leave for another company. So the entrepreneur stands there scratching their head and comes to the conclusion that it might just be easier to do everything themselves. I'll get it done faster, and it'll be cheaper too. And this is also a trap that kills a business, because such a business is impossible to scale. Moreover, over time, the entrepreneur turns into a tired workhorse carrying everything on their own shoulders, with no energy left for strategic actions to grow their business. Let me share my experience in solving this problem. In my project, I've hired artificial intelligence for almost all functions. I truly believe that an entrepreneur who uses artificial intelligence and one who doesn't are not on equal footing. One is always a step ahead, because artificial intelligence is often more effective than an employee. It's trained for your needs and completes your tasks very quickly, and it doesn't go on maternity leave or take sick days. The challenge is how to apply this in business. When I started delving into this topic in 2022, at first I just threw up my hands. I mean, how could artificial intelligence possibly do my job? Seriously, I was looking for answers in various neural network courses and thought, damn, what's next? Just clicking around, trying to figure things out, registering somewhere, nothing makes sense. It wasn't helping me. Zero results. And then I started learning from people who were already using AI professionally at a very high level, not just asking ChatGPT something and getting an answer. People who use it for specific tasks. That's exactly why now, for me, artificial intelligence acts as a designer, copywriter, salesperson, tech specialist, and assistant. And that's why I'm ready to shout from the rooftops that AI is truly the solution. It can fully replace an employee. The unspoken advantage of an AI-powered employee is that you don't have to hire them, pay taxes, or make insurance contributions for them. Entrepreneurs who have put all their employees on civil law contracts are happy people until they face the reality that these civil law contracts are instantly recognized as employment contracts, where you are once again required to pay everything you hadn't even paid before. In general, entrepreneurs always face a lot of risks. There are even more risks related to the human factor. Yes, sometimes neural networks can make mistakes, but it happens much less often than with people, and it fully pays off with its speed and quality of work. And of course, artificial intelligence is always about functionality. I've already talked on my channel about how I created an AI salesperson for business, a reminder system for clients, cartoons made with neural networks, as well as numerous ways to analyze data thanks to artificial intelligence. I even showed how a design engineer cut his workload in half using artificial intelligence and demonstrated how AI can simplify working with tenders. The businesses that will survive are those that are using neural networks right now, because any entrepreneur knows how painful the staffing situation is these days. Not to mention, in many niches, the faster you respond and the more functionality you have, the higher your income and the stronger your reputation in the market. When it comes to marketing, companies that are using neural networks right now are absolutely winning by 100%. From little people crawling over burgers in video content to advanced marketing tools. Just think about it. The company Detsky Mir is already using the Midjourney neural network to generate visuals. With its help, banners are created for the website and retail stores. They have also implemented the Smart Placement Ads Store, which collects information about website visitors' actions, creates target audience profiles, and calculates the likelihood of a purchase. The company MVideo has developed an algorithm that analyzes customer behavior on the website and generates personalized offers. Thanks to the implementation of the recommendation system, the company increased its sales volume by 15%, and the average purchase amount grew by 20%. And now tell me, if you're generally weak in marketing and turn your nose up at artificial intelligence, refusing to dive into something new, saying, oh well, neural network functionality is just pointless, while other companies are implementing smart tools, then what are you waiting for? Just answer yourself honestly, which business will grow and which one will soon go under? Yes, you could indirectly say that artificial intelligence is ruining business. That's why we now have to compete with companies that use artificial intelligence, which allows them to be many times more effective. After all, this business revolution didn't start yesterday or today. It began a long time ago. I joined it in 2022, and I'm still continuing to dive deeper into it. For example, Shane implemented artificial intelligence back in 2019. That's when the company began to grow rapidly and urgently. Users would visit the website and find clothing that hadn't even been sewn yet, but was generated by artificial intelligence. Based on this demand, they started producing those items, which significantly increased their revenue. And it's not just like this with artificial intelligence. Many entrepreneurs, for example, say, I don't want to run social media. It's hard. It takes too much time. Meanwhile, others use their digital avatar powered by artificial intelligence, even in serious fields like law, and gain 50 or even 100,000 followers. I just want to convey to you that right now, the best will be those who delegate repetitive tasks. You might be an employee, but if you regularly repeat certain tasks and can delegate them to artificial intelligence, you won't waste your working hours on trivial things. Let's admit it. Half of the responsibilities in any position are absolute nonsense, just a result of corporate bureaucracy. It's precisely because of these responsibilities that you end up staying late at work, not going home, because some report is more important to management than actually working on the project, at least until things reach a breaking point. I also had two options: to turn a blind eye to the fact that it's not just new tools appearing in business, but an entire rapidly developing sector of tools emerging on the market, or step out of my comfort zone and start diving into artificial intelligence. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I haven't regretted it once. Given the speed at which artificial intelligence is developing, there will be even more opportunities like this. That's exactly why I created my own private club for entrepreneurs like myself who want to increase their number of clients without being buried in work, because you only live once. That's why I don't just talk about how you can do this or that with artificial intelligence. I explain how you can actually apply AI to your specific process. Whatever you want to delegate to AI, you can do it. Some people want artificial intelligence to help them create commercial offers, websites, photos, and video materials for their business. Some people want to simplify the analytical and statistical part so that, for example, a neural network can analyze documents and court cases on a specific issue. Some want AI to competently create regulations and job descriptions. Some want artificial intelligence to become a full-fledged marketer and help increase the number of clients. And all of this is possible. But most importantly, the majority of you do not even realize yet how else you can optimize your work, your business, just like I did not back in 2022. These are tools that are developing right here and now. And I will highlight these opportunities and show you how to use them. So it's not just a story where you read it and think, damn, how could I actually apply this? No, everyone will find an answer to their own question. I will also be sharing my entrepreneurial experience with you. I have a lot to say about franchises, investments, and building a team. I've had plenty of that in my life. And of course, we will keep our finger on the pulse when it comes to political situations, how they affect our business. I will be monitoring current niches, where you can enter and start a business right now. All you have to do is quickly adapt and get results. That's why the club is relevant not only for those who are planning to start a business, but also for experienced entrepreneurs who are looking to expand or update their existing business. And of course, the club is a place where, together in a friendly community, we grow, share experiences, and adapt our businesses to today's realities. And we will also read my book about business together, which will be available exclusively in the private club. My club will be useful for those who are employed and have some recurring tasks that can be delegated to AI. The link to the club is below this video.